All right, good afternoon. It's 6 o'clock Saturday, and hope you guys had a good Saturday. You're listening to On Point, KWUD Radio, 102.3 FM, 1490 AM. I'm Mark Carter, and we're going to talk about politics that are really going to affect Southeast Texas, and talk and really get down to the grassroots. Where we live and how it affects us day to day, and the decisions that are being made and who's making those decisions. We've got a full house today. We've got the crew from On Point. We've got Mary Ham sitting over here from Chambers County. We've got Carol Edwards, political activist from Orange County. We've got Vicki Breckel, who is Hardin County chairperson. Mary Terry, who will join us here in a little bit, and we've got a special guest today. It's Henry Lowe. He's president of the Navy Park Homeowner Association of Orange, and a political activist in the city of Orange. He's also active with the NAACP chapter, local NAACP chapter, and he's been active in politics his whole life. He's 74 years old, and he's the kind of guy we need to listen to because he's seen a lot of stuff. He's seen the changes, and I want to welcome you to On Point, Henry.
Thank you.
Kind of get things going. There's a lot of things going on politically at the top that affect us all the way down to the bottom, and I think it's tough sometimes for people to make that transition. How does the things that the president or the Congress do that comes down and affects us in our day-to-day lives, all the way down to our kids? These are the bridges of discussion that some folks, when we talk on the federal level, that seems far away. I mean, that's Washington. That's where all the things are going on, the gridlock, and people don't really identify with how that's going to inevitably come down, and a lot of times it comes down through the state legislatures because there are things going on at the Supreme Court level that's being driven by state, and that's a good time, and that's where we want to get down to the local politics. One of the things that I want to kick out there first and get you guys in the conversation is Boehner. This guy's if there's a Republican out there that we kind of got to start feeling a little bit sorry for, I think it's Boehner, and I'm no big fan of Boehner.
I don't know if I'd go so far as to say I feel sorry for him. I understand that he has a huge dilemma with his Tea Party freshmen.
Yeah, that seems to be the problem. That and I think that's where the gridlock has come from in Washington, is you've got this Tea Party faction that got elected in the last cycle, and they basically came in with feeling powerful, with a large base, and said they're going to change everything, and the way they went about changing it was just say no to everything without a plan. And while there are two sides to every coin, and the Democrats are saying, we will discuss it, we'll have the debate, I think Boehner is interested in having the debate, but he can't control his party.
No, and it's been this way since the beginning.
Well, for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And with not being able to have the debate, and that's where the imbalance comes in politics. Whenever you got a majority, take Texas for example, we've got a super majority in the House.
Right.
Where they've got a 2/3 majority, they don't have to have the discussion, they don't have to have the vote. They just, even if they call a procedural vote, it gets burned. I mean, they can it because they don't need to have the discussion. They don't have to have the debate. They can put the bill out there and they can pass it. And because there's no debate, people don't see what's really happening. That debate's important because that's where both sides get to come together and find compromise, the middle ground, to where both the right and the left have a little bit to say as the shaping of the legislation.
Mm-hmm.
There's a new book out. I'm going to have to research and get the title and author for you. He's a newspaper reporter that's come out with a new book that talks about the fact that there was a meeting held actually on the night of President Obama's inauguration where the top-level Republicans, including Newt Gingrich at the time, determined and decided that right then and there they would do everything to bring down his presidency that they could.
Yes, they even said it. I'm trying to think of the name of this senator. He said that his main job was to make President Obama a one-term president.
That was Mitch McConnell, and he was definitely at the meeting.
And usually in politics, the young whippersnappers that come up, they come up with these grand ideas of how they're going to change Washington or state government. But usually the seasoned politicians, such as Boehner and those, put them in their place. This is not how it's going to be. We're the leaders and you're going to follow. But they have, this time they neglected doing their job, these old seasoned politicians, and let the Tea Party dictate to them instead of them dictating to the Tea Party. And it has hurt the Republicans all the way around because they're supposed to be there to help the people and not focus on one man.
Yeah, their agenda is to fail this presidency. And that's become very clear.
And that fails us.
That fails us because they're not looking at us anymore.
No.
No, and when you don't, I mean, I don't know that when we say Mr. Boehner is not able to control his people. I mean, what is there to control when the single goal of the Tea Party people coming in and the Republican leadership is to do nothing else, to not focus on any public policy that's good for the American people. It's to do nothing else except make sure that President Obama is a one-term president. And I just don't see how that produces anything good for our country. I mean, you know, this is different to me in how it is so obviously about nothing else. I mean, there's nothing has been done in our Congress. I mean, it's just nothing has been done.
For the people.
And anything that President Obama has tried to put forth that is good for the people, he's had to wash it down so much to get anything passed at all. And I just think it's a shame, you know, and I really hope that this program and others can begin to point that out to, you know, at least to the people locally so they can understand what's going on. It's not, you know, it's so much more than just a phrase that we're going to make Barack Obama a one-term president. Is that all our government is about?
Well, I believe what the citizens will have to do in this upcoming election is, as they can see, the Republican Party will not do anything that would give President Obama good publicity. So what we'll have to do is give the Democratic Party a majority, such a majority, until they can get something passed, such as the Affordable Health Care Act, which they call Obamacare.
Well, it's passed, but it's going under attack, and they're going to use every process that they can to, try to repeal that law.
This book is called "Do Not Ask What Good We Do," and it's written by Robert Draper, and the people at this meeting, he calls it a guest list, were 15 people, including Eric Cantor, Paul Ryan. I'm just reading the people that we would recognize.
Pete Sessions from Texas.
Pete Sessions from Texas. Who else do you see there, Vicki? Jim DeMint, of course, we know him. John Kyle from Arizona. Tom Coburn from Oklahoma.
And John Ensign.
And Corker from Tennessee. And Newt Gingrich.
Those are the ones in the back room.
These are the 15 people that were
talking about
doing everything that they could to fail President Obama's administration on the night he was inaugurated.
See, and that's the kind of thing that I don't think the American people want. It doesn't matter who's elected president, whether it's Democrat or Republican. When they're elected president, they're president of all Americans. And no party, Democrat or Republican, should offer up the agenda on the night of inauguration that says we are going to have to put a plan in place to make sure everything this guy tries to do doesn't work.
I call that dereliction of duty and an impeachable offense.
These people were sent to the Congress by their fellow constituents in whatever state it is to do the will of the people, which is pass laws that would benefit American citizens as a whole.
Well, Henry, when you look at like the tax deal, you know, the plan to close the tax loopholes, to make the richest of Americans pay their part in the taxes, and it goes before, and it's actually supported by 74%. All the polls showed that it was over 70% of Americans polled in a nonpartisan poll that they supported the idea that these guys need to pay more. And it's not a Robin Hood plan, you know, where you take them from the rich and give them to the poor. It's like we're paying 28% or 30%, depending on what tax bracket you land in, and that's the middle class. And what deductions do we have? I mean,
none.
Well, if you own a home, you can do that.
That's it. Then we can thank Phil Graham, a party switcher.
Yeah.
And somebody who
and they want to do away with the property taxes too.
I heard Phil Graham talk about his college loans and grants. Years ago, I heard him talking about how he could not have gotten through college without assistance.
Well, most people couldn't. Working people, their parents just couldn't afford it.
So when you look at the tax burden that's been placed on the middle class, it's really carried this country forward. And then they offer up a tax plan that closes some of the loopholes that the ultra-rich have, which we don't have. In fact, the deal on your interest on your house is a renewable thing. It's not forever. I mean, they could stop that at any point, and I look for them to do it. If, you know, these guys have their way, because they think that the middle class, which is no longer, in my opinion, the middle class, is now the working poor. But they offer this plan up with the support of over 70% of America, and because of the Republicans in Congress, that plan got voted down. I mean, it died in, a day. I mean, it didn't even make it. And then Ryan's plan gets pushed up there, and it passes the same day.
Ryan's plan?
Yeah, Ryan's plan. And what that plan is to place more tax burden on the middle class. Because what they're saying is even if you tax the rich people, make them pay their fair share, it's not going to fix the debt problem. The debt problem is a spending problem. Well, I think it's two things. And to say that this isn't the silver bullet that's going to fix it, so we're not going to do it at all, is crazy.
It is.
You know, we've got to do everything we can right now to get this country solvent, including have everybody, including the people that are going to hurt the least by paying taxes, pay their taxes. I mean, it hurts middle class to pay 30% in taxes. I mean, these are the folks that's living paycheck to paycheck, and, you know, they don't have their private jets, they don't have multiple homes. You know, there are the working poor.
Well, Mark, the reason why this is a crazy plan is because, as everyone knows, practically everyone has a budget. Any new money coming into the budget helps with that budget. So that's a misstatement when they're saying that taxing the rich will not